While navigating her own healing journey and honoring her soul's path, she began bringing this knowledge, wisdom, and insight to others. She now leads retreats, events, and workshops around the country. Her true passion is speaking and teaching. Shannon is delighted to be here today, and we're delighted to have her. Help me welcome Shannon Sondrol.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here on this beautiful Sunday morning. So as many of you know, Sunday is the day of the sacred, and it is so important to honor that. And so I believe coming together in spiritual community and just having Sundays as a day of rest and a day of feeding your spirit, feeding your soul, getting out in nature is so very important. So thank you for showing up and honoring yourself today. Of course, many of you know that we are called places by divine assignment. So it doesn't matter how many people are in the room. I think that is such a thing of the ego to say, oh, every seat in the house is full, right? It's just about who was called to be here this morning and to receive the messages and the insight and the information that's going to come through for all of you, right? And it's about the energy of a room. That's what matters. So again, thank you so much for showing up. I'm just going to step you through a little opening meditation just to get us present and grounded and open to receive. So if you just want to go ahead and get comfortable in your chair, close your eyes if that feels right for you. And we'll just begin by taking a nice deep breath. So breathing in through the nose and then out through the mouth. And just finding that rhythm of breathing that works well for you today. Allowing yourself to take a little deeper inhale with each breath that you take. More powerful exhale through the mouth on the release. So again, just clearing energy, drawing up more life force into the body through the inhale, more oxygen. And on the exhale, releasing everything that is no longer serving you. Letting go, surrender. So just stay focused on your breath and just allowing all the outside noise, outside thoughts, fear, concerns, worry, just allowing all of that to fade away for the next 50 minutes. And really allowing yourself to be anchored in this space. To be right here, right now, in the present moment. Honoring yourself, honoring the people in this room, honoring your time and your energy. So go ahead and take a breath. Then I just want you to ask yourself, what brought you here today? What was your intention or your reason for coming to Lake Harriet this morning? And then are there any questions that you might have this morning? Or any insight or guidance that would be most helpful for you with where you're at on your journey at this time? So just tuning into that as we stay in this meditation. Allowing yourself to take a nice deep breath. Then I just want you to put your palms up like the opening to receive. And just, asking all the spirit guides that are present and the divine, the universe, just to channel through whatever messages and guidance and insight would be most helpful for all of you who are here in the audience. And just allow yourself to open and receive whatever it is that you are meant to receive this morning. Whether that's a message or energy, an activation, a clearing, whatever is unique for your soul's path at this time. Just be open to receive that. Letting go of all preconceived notions or expectations on what this is supposed to be, and really open up again to receive what you are meant to receive at this time. So just go ahead and take one more nice deep breath. And again, just the honoring of a sacred Sunday, the honoring of this gathering, the honoring of this space and this community. Ending with gratitude and peace and joy for this time together and for this day. So whenever you are ready, feel free to slowly bring yourself back into the room. Move around a little bit if you need to move around. Take a drink of water. How is everyone feeling after that? I love hearing from you, so if you want to talk, please talk. Calm. I love that. Did anyone have any insight come through or see colors or get anything? Felt energy moving or clearing? No? Ah, I love that. What is your name? Mary. Mary, okay. Perfect. Yeah. Any insight into who else is here with you? Your guides? Yeah, absolutely. I know. To be honest, when I was scanning the room energetically, I'm like, okay, I don't want to speak. I just want to do energy work for the next 45 hours and deliver messages. But that's not why we're here. That's how I was feeling, though, because I could see some of the energy that wants to clear, and we'll get to it at some point today. Mark, did you have anything? Felt peaceful? Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, so that's a message for the group. So love, but not just love, infinite love. So the infinity symbol. Love that. Anyone else? Infinite possibilities. Woohoo. Right before the new moon, my friends. The new moon at 3:27 a.m. tomorrow morning. So if you are up in the middle of the night, like so many of us are right now, pay attention to when the clock turns 3:27. That'll be the time of, I want to say, greatest alignment, greatest ability to get a message, when the veil will be the most thin as that new moon turns. Okay? So have your journal, be writing what's coming through. Yeah. Okay. So for those of you who are tuned in, like spiritually and kind of following the energy of the universe, we just had the 11:11 portal yesterday. So were any of you feeling heightened energy before yesterday, like starting Wednesday-ish, moving into Saturday? Yeah, I definitely was. Oh my gosh, my energy was through the roof. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And also notice when I drank caffeine, it was way too much because the energy was already so heightened that my normal caffeine was like way too activating. Go ahead. What energy types? I just think of, for me, it's like just general energy, to be honest. Yeah, physical energy. Yep. Physical energy, the ability, again, to receive messages. So the spiritual, like activations. All of that. And so it's just like around a moon where the energy, like 48 to 72 hours, starts coming in. And then when the portal opens on 11/11, that would be the peak of it, just like on the full moon, right? The peak of it is whatever time that it turns full. That's when the very peak is. And then you'll still feel the effects 48 to 72 hours after as well. So what we have going on is the 1111 portal, which is a huge energetic opening. And what happens is there's more light flooding planet Earth at that time, okay? So at that time, what also happens is that darkness is exposed because the light shines light onto the shadows, onto the dark parts of us. I had all this shadow stuff come out Friday night, and it was intense and it was fierce because it had been building all week. I could feel it, and then it came up and out. Okay, and then so Saturday was pretty much a day of rest for me to kind of allow my physical body to rest, allow the emotions to clear, all of that. And so we have that, and then we also have the new moon, which is tomorrow morning. And as many of you know, the new moon is all about new beginnings, new opportunities, new. Okay, so right before a new moon, it's always the shedding away of the old. Okay, so maybe some of you noticed that this week, that there was some old shutting out or some stuff buried in you that was coming up because it wanted to go. So the buried stuff, it comes up. I always think of it because my stuff is buried in my stomach, right? So it comes up, and then it wants to, whether it's a conversation with someone about something that's been buried in me, or it's just the energy that wants to move, or the emotions that want to move, right? Because emotions are energy in motion, so we want them to move through us, rather than stuffing and burying and tucking them away. Okay? So that's what's been going on this week, collectively. And so again, before a new moon, there's always like this releasing as well, old stuff coming up that wants to go. Because when that stuff is in us or in our energy field or in our body, right, a memory from 5 years old, and now we're like 65, and that's still buried in us, it's gonna come up at different times, and it's gonna be layers that will come up. And that could be in the form of like a memory trigger, or someone said something and you flash back to that 5 years old, right? And so this energy wants to clear to make space for the new. So that's such an important piece of this, my friends. We have to make space in our life to allow new stuff to come in, or to even call in new stuff, or to align with our energy in this now moment, in this present moment, right? So, and when you're doing that, when you're doing that actual energy work, right? Like the clearing, and I teach this to all of my clients and all my programs, it's so important every day to be clearing our energy. Every single day, because we are hit with so much and we're picking up so much collective stuff that absolutely taking 10 minutes to clear our energy every day, multiple times a day, is incredibly important. Yes, Ruben.
No, I was just going to say that I went to the spiritual group from Friday to Saturday.
Yeah. I should have been in that group. I said I should have been in that group. I needed that group Friday night. That's beautiful. So were you facilitating, or were you part of? Okay, cool. And what did you all do?
Well, we had, things that kind of help the stuff come out physically also.
Yeah.
So some of us are some of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it totally is. It was coming out, yeah, absolutely. Good. That's such a good thing, you know? People think that like intense emotions or crying or anger, no, it's a good thing when it comes up and out. We can just do it in safe places, right? And in ways that aren't damaging to ourselves or others as it clears out. So having a safe, sacred space is so important too. Amazing. Okay, so does anyone have anything they want to share about this week? Any experiences, anything happening at all? Okay. I just know since we're, we can all be interactive and sharing, it's always good to hear what other people are experiencing. Microphone to him? Okay. Yes.
I found that as I was thinking through a few issues, as long as I was avoiding really processing it, where I could feel that holding me back and like keeping my energy down. And it's amazing the relief that comes without things like throwing up or whatever, that when we let it surface and process it, it's, at least for me, it wound up being way less than I was making it in my mind thinking about it.
I love that. Don, I had a very similar experience that I was stewing about all week since the previous weekend. All week processing, figuring out what I was going to say, like all of that. And then the conversation was had yesterday morning, and it was way different than what my mind was making it out to be. So thank you for sharing that. Sometimes those things need to be addressed right away. Sometimes, but as soon as we can, because the mind starts creating stories. For sure. Thank you. Okay, so all that being said, moving into the topic for this month and for today is a culture of creatives. A culture of creatives. And so I think many of you know that we are powerful creators. Do all of you know that? That you are a powerful creator? That you have the ability to create anything and everything that you would like to create during your time here? And so that being said, that's what's been so shut down in so much of our society. And it gets blocked, my friends. And it gets blocked by the constant doing, and spinning through the motions. And it gets blocked by things like sugar and alcohol and anything that clouds our channel. And I'm not saying little bits of it, I'm saying anything in excessive amounts, right? And there's so many things that can block up our creativity. And the creative piece of us, it lives in our sacral center. Okay, so right below the navel is your sacral chakra, that energy center. And that chakra, that energy center, is all about abundance and pleasure and sexuality and creativity. And they're all the same energy. Okay, so healing energy, which I can feel coming through my hands right now, that is creative energy. Sexual energy is creative energy. It's all the same energy. It just depends on what are you going to do with it. Okay? So you can have healing energy coming through your body and you can throw it into your creation. You can throw that energy into anything that you want. Okay? As long as you're mindful and aware of it. Right? And so, that being said, that's what we want to activate and open in every single one of us, is our ability to be the powerful creator. And not just that, to be so aware of what we're creating here. Because have you ever called something in and you're like, this is what I want, and then it showed up and you're like, never mind, that's not what I want. Just kidding, ha ha ha. Not like that. Right? Or sometimes we block ourselves because the universe is trying to deliver that thing, but we want it to show up as tall, dark, and handsome. Right? And maybe it shows up in like a totally different form. And so we go, no, not like that, because we get in our own way, and we get in our own ego, and we get in our own mind. Right? But if we're tuned in energetically and tuned in spiritually and tuned into the soul, we'll just read the energy of it and know, that's a match for me. It is totally a match for me because it's a vibrational resonance to who I am and what I am. Looks don't matter, my friends. Seriously. It's about the energy of something. So knowing that, so we know that we're creating our reality moment by moment. It's just that sometimes we go back to this program or this default setting where it's like we forget. Right? And we just start living life by default or by what's coming at us. Just taking whatever comes at us instead of being that active creator of this is what I'm creating today. This is how I want to feel. This is how I want to show up. And this is what I'm putting out into the universe. And it is true that what you put out, you get back. Like, I truly believe that. Do you believe that? Or is that not? Yeah? Okay. The only reason I believe that is because it's my lived experience of it, right? And so one other thing that I want to say, when we're talking about energy is like, it's not just positive thinking, my friends. It's not. That's like one little bit of it. Your thoughts create your reality. That's just one piece of it. Because here's the deal. Like, your reality is created by your energy, okay? So you have the mind, one piece. You have your energetic field, another piece. You have your physical body, another piece. You have your emotional body, and you have your spiritual body. So all of those things make up the total energetic of who you are. So the mindset and the positive thinking and making sure we're like have a focused mind and that we know we're in control of our mind, that it's not a separate entity just running itself, right, is just that one piece. And so that's what I see a lot of people missing that I work with is like they're doing all mindset, but they're not doing energy. They're doing mindset work, they're not doing energy work, right? Or they're doing physical body work, my physical body, strong, healthy, lean, right? Mindset work, right? So many people are doing that, the wellness industry, physical body and mindset. What they're missing is the healing, the deep healing work, the energy work, right? And then also spirituality is, that's sometimes what some of this work is missing. And the emotional body and dealing with that, okay? Yes. Ruben. Oh.
Yeah, I have a question.
How do you do energy work? Can you do it on yourself, or do you need somebody else to do the energy
Oh,
work?
yes, you can do it on yourself. Absolutely. You can.
How would you do that?
You can. So I actually, on my SoundCloud, I have recordings that step people through an energy clearing and chakra work. It's like 10 to 12 minutes, and it literally steps you through that. Okay? And so if you want that link, come see me afterwards and I'll give that to you. And you can, so how I clear my energy? So many ways, but being out in nature, moving my breath, connecting, right? Okay, that's an energy clearing. Sometimes it's as simple as walking outside and literally brushing off my energetic field. When I was still in the dental office, I would, if I could, get outside in between every patient and brush myself off. Because I was picking up all their stuff, not just cleaning their teeth. I was picking up all their stuff, right? And so I'd go outside and just brush myself off quick. Okay, good, ready for the next patient. And the more I did that, the more I maintained my energy all day long. Because before I would do that, before I learned how to do that, let's say that, right? I would have 8 people's stuff on me all day long. And by the end of the day, I was carrying all their stuff and I was so exhausted. It wasn't my stuff, it was their stuff, but I didn't know about energy yet. I didn't know about energy clearing. I didn't know about protecting my field or any of those things. Okay? So yes, Ruben, you can absolutely do energy work on yourself. And then literally with your chakras, the energy centers of your body, putting your hand there, breathing, sending energy, tapping, activating. And we're going to do that here in a little bit because I do want to do some work on the sacral chakra. Okay? So yes, please do that yourself. And that's why when I realized my clients, when I was working one-on-one with people, and at first when I started, it was massage therapy, and then I went into craniosacral, and then eventually it was energy work and getting downloads about what they had been through and where I needed to put my hands and all that stuff. And I realized that my clients were coming to me like once a month. This was when I was still doing in-person work, hands-on work. And they weren't doing anything on their own. And that was so frustrating to me because we weren't getting anywhere, stuff would happen in our session, but what about afterwards? So then I developed a meditation series and started recording and sending that out over email, so all they had to do was click. But it's still true that only like 50% of them or less were actually clicking and doing their own work, right? But that's why I created the tools that I've created, like energy clearing and chakra work, just to step people through. And then eventually, once you do those enough, you'll just do it on your own. But it's a consistent practice, right, of doing it, and then you're like, okay, now I know how to clear my energy. I don't have to listen to that recording anymore. Okay? So, that being said, I want to ask you, what are you creating today? Maybe you did your spiritual practice before you came here and you wrote down your intentions or what you're creating, what you're sending out into the universe today, or maybe not. But I just want you to ask yourself, what am I, if I am a powerful creator, then what am I creating today? And what are you bringing to the world today? Or what are you birthing into the world today? It can be as simple as love or joy or a smile. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to write that whole damn book today. No, right? It can be. You can write a book in a day, of course. If you're tapped into source, yes, you can. Clear, clean channel, you can totally write a book in a day. But if it's not that, it can be other things that you're bringing out into the world today. And just remember that your energy, your presence, it affects everyone you come into contact with, my friends. And the other day, I was walking and I was having an emotional release because there was a lot coming up for me, crying. And this guy crosses my path and he says something about, oh, it's a lovely state, isn't it? He was all bundled up. He was like cold, but the sunset was happening. And I just look over and he could see the tears falling and see tears in my eyes. And he just like nodded. And there was an exchange there, that moment. So I just want you to know, I'm not always bright and shiny. I'm not always the sunshine. Trust me. I am a lot, because I love being in this energy and it feels so good. But I'm also a human with very hard and challenging things happening right now in my life, and I get to process those as well, and I get to be vulnerable and open-hearted, and I get to cry, and I get to be pissed off and angry, and I get to show the world that, because what I used to do is hide away and stay in bed. And now I'm like, nope, I bring the sunshine to the world, and I also get to bring the rest of it for people to come in and then support me when I need it. Right? So I just want you to know, we don't have to hide any of it away anymore, because we're here to do this together in community and with one another. In my journey, I've walked so many years alone, honestly, 10 years I felt like I was walking alone, me and God, right? With other people who would come in for a little while and then go back out, come in, go back out. My dog too, she was a big part of that. She's like, what about me? I'm like, oh yeah, she's passed now, but she was like my life partner for a long time. So it was the three of us. And now I'm at a phase where it's like, no more walking alone. And I think so many of us are there. It's like, invite other people into your journey. Invite other people into your days. If you're not being invited, that's okay. But you can invite. You can open your arms and invite, right? So, just some messages for all of us there. Does anyone have anything before we move into a little bit of energy work and chakra work? Because if there's messages coming through for anyone, honestly, we're all the channel. So if you have something, it's because someone else in the group also needs to hear it. And sometimes you just have to be in these spaces with other people, and it'll open it up for you as well. Okay. Oh. 1 second until the microphone gets to you. Thank you. Nope, that's okay.
Oh, yeah. So as I was just sitting here, the word vulnerability is just coming to me as you were sharing what you were sharing. Mm-hmm. So, and as we walk our journey, and we're still, some people come in and some people come out, and we want people to walk alongside us or to help or to, I don't know. It's there's just that level of vulnerability. And asking for that help or asking someone, it's like holding hands with someone. You're going to take their hand. Are you going to ask? You don't know. Do you want to hold my hand? That's an equation, kind of the similar thing that, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to share because that's just what was coming to
you
me.
have to ask for what you need because people don't know what you need. People don't know if I'm having a bad day, right? People don't know if I'm struggling financially unless I ask for the help that I need. But see, the problem is we're not used to that. So when I first started asking for the help I need and people would tell me no, because literally they couldn't provide it, I would just shut down. I won't go ask the next person or someone who could actually provide what I needed. I would just shut down, right? And so many of us grew up in households where shutting down was the norm. So then we have to get out of that program and be aware enough and mindful enough of it. And I'm still not out of that program. I still shut down, for sure. But it's up to me to catch it and open back up right? And then allow the support in that I also need. But yeah, asking for the help, that's so important. Vulnerability, absolutely. And what's your name? I'd like to know people's
My name's
names.
Teresa,
Okay.
and it was great. I was here this morning at 9 for with Laura. Anyways, first time for that, and just recently in the last couple of years coming here, and I just can say, and my life has just changed completely in the last couple of years because once again, my family was always about, you can't be this way because however your actions are and behaviors, it affects our whole family and how, like, people are going to think of us. You know, this is my sisters mostly, but anyways, it's just like, I realized that it's like, I don't have to follow how they want me to be, and I'm just so happy it took me this long to figure out that everything I'm doing is with love and joy, and I just am so happy anyways, to have this community here, to have you here today, and just to learn this about myself.
Absolutely. So I'm running a immersion program right now, and Janet is here, and she's one of my the people in the program. So thank you so much for being here today. And I told just a little bit of the fraction of the story of Colonel Sanders. Do y'all know his story, KFC? Do you know how old he was when he started? So he had retired from his job at 65. He didn't know what to do with himself. He thought life was over. He was sitting outside in his yard, leaned up against a tree one day, about a year and a half after retirement, not wanting to live anymore because he was so bored, and he didn't know what his purpose was. So as thoughts of suicide were coming through, and as thoughts of, I'm just done, there's nothing more to life here, there was also something that came through that said, what brings you joy? What are you so passionate about doing? And he sat with it for a minute, and his answer was chicken, and making chicken. That's what he came up with. So he started in his own kitchen with a few different varieties of fried chicken and would deliver it in a basket to all of his neighbors. Okay? That sparked his energy. That sparked his life force. That sparked his joy. And from there, the first restaurant was established. And from there, we all know the story of KFC, right? So I said that in my group, I think last week or sometime. And then on Thursday, and I believe in signs, my friends, oh my gosh, if you can see the signs and interpret them, amazing. I'm at this store in Minneapolis before I attend an event at the Hewing. So it's like on one of those streets, beautiful stores down there, right? All these beautiful clothes. So I walk by a couple of times. I'm like, I need to go in there. And so I walk through, and there's like, you know, a whole man section of clothes and women's clothes and like furniture and design. And I love that stuff. And so I'm in this amazing heightened energy. And I'm just about to walk out the door and leave. And I'm like, oh, there's one more room. I got to go in there. And so I go into this one more room. And there in that one more room was a picture of a KFC bucket full of chicken and a ruby red slipper. You had the power all along, my dear. That's the message. He had the power all along. He just didn't know it. All of us too, right? Like the clicking of the ruby red slippers. That is in us. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I have to send it to the ladies in my program because we had just told that story 5 days prior or whenever that was. So that's what it is, right? And then the universe is like, Shannon, it's like this. It's like this. And then that message is meant to be shared for all of us to remember. He's not special. He wasn't special. He just got tapped in. Okay? It's a power we all have if we're so willing to activate it, to allow it, to not be scared of how big this can be, how big it wants to be, if that's what's true for you. Okay? So, all right, let's do a little bit of energy work before we go into Q&A, please. So, all I want you to do is we're just going to kind of go back into meditation real quick a little bit. Focus on your breath just a little bit. And if it feels right to stand up, please do. If it feels right to move a little bit, please do. Okay, so we're not going to move through all the chakras. We're just going to go right to the sacral center. Okay, so that is right below your navel. You can put your hands there. And just breathe into the sacral center. So, side note, every woman I have ever worked with has a blocked sacral center. Every single one. There's blocks there. And so we store pain and trauma and abuse there, right? And so that has to be cleared too. Okay, so first thing I want to do is clear the blocks in the sacral center. So if you just take your hands and do like a little kind of sweeping motion, it's just like the signal of like, hey, I'm going to clear that energy. Yeah. And honestly, if you want to stand up and move, like you can, because I like to move as I'm clearing energy. Okay, so just kind of clearing away any blocks that are in the sacral centers. And then whenever it feels done for you, just place your hands there and then send the breath. And you know, the reason that we hold weight, this is where I hold my weight. Totally. And the reason for that is protection. I'm protecting my sacral center because that area in my life is full of trauma and abuse. Right? And so, but the more I do healing work, the more the weight goes. Because I don't have to protect it anymore. I clear that stuff, right? Through the healing work. So, just know when people hold extra weight, it's for protection. All right, so just breathing into the sacral center. And then just do a little bit of light tapping too, just kind of all around that area. And so what the tapping does is it activates. Tapping is like an activation. Okay. So, and then of course we're having the intention, right, that we're activating our creativity center. We're activating the sacral center, the sacral chakra. All right, and just tune in whenever you're done, that's fine. And just put your hands there and then breathe. Just breathe into that. Okay, and one more thing I do want everyone to stand up, because I think this is important. So I teach this to all my clients too. So doing like hip circles and kind of moving the hips like a figure eight, like the infinity symbol, if you want, okay? So that also, the hips are right by the sacral, and so that helps to open the sacral center. So a lot of times when I'm feeling blocked up, I'll put music on, frequency music, and then I'll just like move and clear and activate and literally hold my hands here, okay? Yep, and you know, you can tap, you can clear, like whatever. And it's just, again, it's like the intention of doing this. And then the more that you do it, you'll feel your hips starting to open up. And you'll see that you can go lower and you can go wider and however you want to do it, okay? And here's my other question is like, if we're not dancing every single day, like what are we doing here? We have to be dancing, my friends. I'm serious. Like put on your favorite music and dance, like have to be. And then I don't know if you want to stretch at all, but you can if it feels right for you. Let's do a little tapping on the heart chakra too to open that. And then we got to clear the throat chakra too. Okay, and then clear the throat. You can do a little tapping around that too. But so speaking our truth is so important. And you don't have to speak your truth to everyone, but I know that sometimes we can be very Minnesota nice, and it's not good, and it's not helpful, okay? Because like being in our truth and our authenticity, that's what's helpful, not people pleasing, not Minnesota nice, not any of that, right? We can be kind, we can be gentle, we can be heart-centered when we speak our truth, but like we still, you know, it's still very important for us to be in our truth and our authenticity, okay? Let me see if there's anything else. I'm just like looking around at everyone. Maybe a little third eye, a little bit of the intuition, clairvoyance. All right. And then how about just a little bit of breathing in the divine white light, just connection to source, just breathe that in, allow that to protect your field. Okay. And just know, I mean, you guys can do this at any time, anywhere, honestly. So just know that. All right, so we do need to move into Q&A. If you want to clear your solar plexus later, that would be a good idea. Mark, I saw you in your solar plexus. I saw you working on your solar plexus, is what I meant. Okay, so any questions about anything? Spiritual awakening stuff, creativity? Ella.
Thank you, Carol. So, Shannon, the question that's been running through my head since you started was portals. What are those? What opens them and why? Is that something that you can speak to?
I think, well, I would look it up because
Okay. Right.
you know how sometimes like you know because you know and because you can feel it, but then you can't actually put it into words.
Okay.
That's how I feel about those questions.
So Google
But
it.
portal is like an opening.
Okay.
And for me, it feels like the opening of energy and, like I said, more light coming into the planet on those days that are portals. So like the 8/8, the Lionsgate portal, that's a really powerful one. So for me, what I try to do on those days is for sure to get out in nature. Like in the summer, I would camp on those days and then be super receptive to the messages and the insights and everything else coming in. Okay?
Okay.
So it's usually like the double number days. Like 10/10 is a portal, 11/11 is a portal, 12/12 is a portal. Stuff like that.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Yes.
I'll Google it.
Thank you. Google it because I can't put it into words. Jill, did you have a question? Yeah, and the veil is thin. Yeah, absolutely.
When the veil is thin, you know, you're open up to other, I don't know, dimensions, energies that's out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And when the veil is thin too, you can like pick up other people's energies just like that. So you'll like think of someone they'll call right away. Like it's just like all of that synchronicities, all of that is happening much more rapidly.
Right.
Yeah. Ruben?
I know that for a while, and I think a lot of people also have this problem, that if I'm nervous about something or worried about something, I start getting a stomach ache. And I was wondering if there was some quick and easy way of getting rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, it's like go for a walk. Get outside, go for a walk and breathe. And so it's like clearing the energy then that is either in your mind, in your stomach, wherever it's living, right? And I do that through moving the breath, and then nature is just incredibly healing in everything that it is. And I would say like absolutely disconnected from your phone too. Because the thing is like we don't have to tend to that in that moment, but then it's just gonna get worse throughout our day. So the most important thing we could do is tend to it in that moment, clear it, and then get on with our day. So it's the fear, worry that's showing up as a physical symptom in the body. Yeah. Okay.
Is there a better time of the, to do any kind of chakra clearing, like during an open 11/11 portal versus another time of the year? Do you get a different effect in the clearing if it is stronger?
Yeah, everything is like heightened and stronger during that. And so like 11/11 on the 11/11 portal is like peak times for meditation, for gatherings, for all of that. Yes, thank you for asking that. Okay, one more and then we're done. Thank you.
Interesting that you brought up the 11/11 because I did kind of have what I might call a I don't know, breakthrough or an opening, something.
Yes.
But when I experience those, it kind of comes with this, yeah, I've been here before, and then I kind of sink back down. Things close up in a way, figuratively. Is there an integration process or something that you could do, that a person could do to kind of, integrate that progress or the...
Absolutely. This is
what
a
I mean?
great question. Can you say what your breakthrough was, or what?
Oh, just a releasing of some old energy.
Okay,
Some
perfect.
attachments.
So the first thing is don't re-engage with that old energy, because how many times do we do that? Right? Especially when we're feeling good and we're like, I can conquer anything. But then you invite this older or lower energy back in, and it affects your field. It affects you, right? So that's where boundaries come in and all of that come in. And then it takes the physical body a little bit to integrate a breakthrough, or to integrate a shift, or to integrate a higher. So allowing yourself time to rest, or again, get your body on the earth, go lay outside, get your feet on the earth. So allowing the physical body to integrate, because it hits your energetic field first, and then it hits your physical body. So then that has to integrate. And then working with the root chakra for groundedness, because we want to anchor it in. Otherwise, it's just floating up here, right? Does that make sense? So bringing it actually into the physical body. Okay, a spiritual practice, and then taking the action that would align with what that was, too. Okay, yeah. And it's about being in energy and places and spaces that align with that new energy, so letting the old go, for sure. And we're in Scorpio season. It's all about death and rebirth, especially with this new moon, so dying off and the rebirth. So just allowing that process. All right, I'll be outside after the service too if you'd like to come talk to me. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right. Well, thank you, Shannon. Well, I don't know about you, but I had a couple of aha moments, and I hope that each of you got an aha moment that you can take back and work you through your life. The aha moment for me was hearing you talk more about how, yes, thoughts create our reality, but there's more energetic layers to that. So I have to remember that. So thank you. All right. So for those of you who are new to the Lake Harris Spiritual Community, we have 2 services. Teresa, you mentioned the 9 a.m. service this morning. So 9 a.m. is a little bit more experiential, and then the 10:30 is more inspirational, if you want to say it like that. So join us next week for the 9 a.m. service that's going to be conducted by Angela Hunt, and the 10:30 motivational service will be led by Dorothy Inez Del Tufo. So join us for that. Well, now's the time to see if you can share some of your gifts with us, your financial gifts. Lake Harriet Spiritual Community is solely funded by donations that we receive. So we don't have any other source of income, and it helps, keeps the lights on, the doors open, allows us to bring amazing speakers and events here as well. So the ushers will be passing the basket. If you can't give today, consider a regular donation through our website, through PayPal. And I think in the baskets too, Gary has us into the technological age. He's got Venmo QR codes, and is that what they call them, QR codes? He's got Venmo in the baskets as well. So lots of different opportunities for you to give. So thank you.
Up in the morning sun and tell me something true. I've been sleeping for so long, I wanna shake these restless blues. Open eyes, open expectations, open heart embrace. Weathered hands not too warm to grasp the sunlight dancing on my face. Hey, sweet Minnesota sky, teach me to live before I die. Seduce me with rhyme and your loose sense of time, oh sweet Minnesota sky.
Thank you, Gary. Who was that? That was a great song. Karen Choi? Okay. Wow, that was a nice song. All right. So if you could help bless the offerings by repeating after me, God's perfect love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Oh. Well, our tradition is to circle up, and the speaker will lead us through a closing. So I think, like the first, where Don is, where you were sitting, if everybody could circle, like these first 3 rows in the center here. I think we got enough room for that. Okay. All right, cool.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so what I'm feeling is a quick gratitude circle. So everyone just say one thing they're grateful for today. What is it? Insight. To be alive. Companion souls? Community. Clear channels. For all of you. Shannon, Sondrol, thank you. You're sweet. Thank you. For a nice day. For Gary. Woo! Who hasn't spoken? Inspiration? We need everyone to speak. Sunshine. Jill says creativity.
Music.
Music. Walking on sunshine. Again, gratitude just, brings in more things to be grateful for. So if you're ever in a situation where you're stuck, what is one thing you can be grateful for about that situation? Okay, and that'll shift it all. It'll shift the energy. So grateful for all of you. Thank you so much. And please just bring this out to the world today, everywhere you go. Thank you. Blessings.